If you're someone who struggles managing their work and time, then this course will teach you how to use Notion on both your phone and the computer for planning your daily work and priorities, documenting all of your notes, creating resumes or even portfolios, and even social media carousels or stories. After completing this course, you'll know Notion's advanced productivity hacks like creating your own action buttons, using inline databases, making complex flowcharts, and even Notion's built-in AI tools. In fact, completing this course can also get you a certificate delivered right to your doorsteps. My name is Ansh Mehra and I educate businesses about design and technology. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, I want to make sure that I not only teach you the features of Notion, but also explain you how these features can help you manage your work and time. So we'll have 3 chapters. In chapter 1, I'll teach you how Notion works on your phone and computer and explain how is it different from Apple Notes or Google Keep. In chapter number 2, I'll cover best techniques for managing your work and time. In chapter number 3, I'll show you Notion AI and its best shortcuts, along with free links to templates and resources. Let's start with chapter number 1. Now, to download Notion for free, you can visit notion.so on your desktop, and you can download Notion on iOS or Android phones as well. I'll paste the mobile app links in description. The basic plan is for free and it is good enough for a beginner. Now, I'll do the first half of this demo on my phone because that is just simpler for most people. See, Notion is basically a digital notebook. The easiest use case is to document all of your learnings and thoughts on a day-to-day basis. So you don't have to rely on your memory to just remember things in general. For example, I have a page here titled April 2024, and this has a bunch of different thoughts that I've had throughout my day, throughout the month. And look at the format. Basically, you have a page title, then you have a heading, you can also add images, and then if I scroll to the very down, I have these actions like I can put something in a quote, I can put something as a URL, I can put bullet points. So basically, anything that I'm reading is not stored in my brain, it is not written in a notebook or in a WhatsApp chat, it is very well organized in this one single page. Now, if I click here, this is how my Notion homepage looks like. So on the very top, I have all the recent pages that I've edited. Then I have all of my favorite pages. This is probably not how it would look for you. For a new person, it looks completely different. So what I would recommend you to do is that open all of those default pages, click on the top right corner on this kebab menu and simply click on delete. That way, all of your templatized pages would be off and you'll have a blank canvas to start from. So what I will do is I will click on the bottom right corner and this is where I will have a new page to start. Now on the very top, I can put a page title. So let's just say I'll name it as Notion Notes. If I swipe down, I have an option to put an icon as well. So I can basically select like a finger icon because I think that is the safest option. And then if you also want to add a cover, you can just click on add cover. Once I click on change cover, I can just put like a simple gradient. But before we move ahead, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Herovired, a part of the Hero Group family. Herovired is offering an online certification program for students and professionals looking to upskill themselves in gaming and esports in collaboration with Nodwin Gaming, one of the world's leading esports companies. This 6-month online course will have 2 specializations to choose from: gaming and esports. For the gaming specialization, you'll learn tools like Unity, Maya, Visual Studio, Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator. And for esports specialization, you learn OBS Studio and Adobe Premiere Pro, and even receive an assured internship opportunity with a popular industry partner. Herovired is also offering a free Gen AI program worth 1 lakh rupees along with one-to-one mentorship that helps you prepare for the latest jobs in 2024. The best part is that Herovired has small batch sizes and 70 to 90% live interactive classes, so you can clear your doubts in the class itself. Learners will also get an assured internship with a leading industry partner. There are limited seats available, so quickly go to the link in description and apply for it as soon as you can. Now, this is where things become very interesting. Now, if I click on the plus sign, you'd see that I get a list of things that are called basic blocks. This is where you can add your text. So the simplest one is obviously your basic text, where I can add anything I want. But the real game changer is the fact that you can have headings, and they have 3 different kinds of headings. So Heading 1 would be biggest, then we have heading 2, and then we have heading number 3. So if I click on heading number 1, I can say intro to the course. Then I can simply have 1, add basics, download the app, start testing. And then if I press delete, I can add heading number 3 as well. I can write exercise, add details here. So basically it's just your way of adding your notes onto a single page. Now, if you click on the plus sign again, you have tables, numbered lists, callouts, quotes. So callout is like this interesting bubble that can say add something cool here. If you want, you can also add pictures from your photo library or use your camera. And the crazy part here is that they also have these AI features, which I will cover in chapter number 3, but you can actually use AI to just expand your ideas to get more ideas. If I click on plus again and go to this page option, I can add a sub page. And then if I were to click on this icon right here, it will show me that this sub page is a child inside my parent page, which is Notion Notes. So can you see, if I click on this file icon, I can choose any icon that I want, and then I will have pages within pages. So this is called nesting of pages inside your Notion. Now, just to show you how amazing this can be for you, if I go back to my April 2024 page, this page is a part of my parent page, which is called My Quick Insights. On this page, I have been documenting my insights since May 2021. So I can literally go to June 2021 and figure out what exactly was I thinking, and notice the way in which I am writing my thoughts. So I have heading number 2, then a small paragraph, then this is me just using the text block and boldening it out. So if you select anything, let's just say I select this entire thing, I can bold this. If I swipe to the right, I can add a link to it. If I click on this option, I can change the color, and if I scroll more, I can highlight it as well. So these small things really matter a lot. So imagine how amazing this can be for you, because I have been documenting my thoughts for every single year. And last year, I have actually started a new practice where I had a page called 2023 Yearly Review, where I went through all of my thoughts and I made a list of all the good things I did and all the bad mistakes I committed so that I can memorize them and be more conscious of them. I created another page called 2023 Top Stories, where I have just collected all the funny and comedy moments throughout the year in one single place, so that anytime I'm speaking to someone, at least I have all of these memories refreshed. Even if not for like an icebreaker, anytime that I'm bored, I would just open up the Top Stories page and just start laughing. And it is such a nice hack to just relive all of your memories. So it's crazy what, documentation can do for you. To be honest, My Quick Insights is again a part of even a bigger page called Learning, where I have a 2024 subheading where I have made a list of things that I have to read next, to watch next, and what to spend on next, which is my wish list. Then inside my health, I have documentaries and shows, where basically I've been watching this new Netflix documentary called Hack Your Health, where I've just made notes of all the cool things that I learned from them, right? So you can add a table as well, you can add your notes, you can add callouts. So it just makes my entire experience so good. Now, as you can know, people either achieve all of this in very unorganized notebooks or WhatsApp groups. But then if I understand how to use Notion, it's a game changer for me. Now you're probably wondering, Ansh, why can't I use Apple Notes or Google Keep for this? And why not just use a notebook? So number one, Apple Notes and Google Keep do not have pages within pages and all the advanced Notion features like databases or built-in AI or even publishing it to the internet. And we will cover this in the next chapter, so don't worry. And second, searching through physical notebooks for the exact thing that you're looking for is very hectic. Not to mention, you cannot embed media in your physical notebook. Now, because of my habit of documenting my thoughts on Notion, I now have dedicated Notion pages for almost everything. And I'll show 3 examples from my own Notion library. So let me just switch to the web version now. So here is a page that I have been maintaining since 2019. It's called Design Knowledge Drafts, where basically I've been writing down everything that I've learned as a UX designer. Because even in 2020, I realized that if I write this in my notebook, eventually I will forget them or even lose the notebooks. But now, because I've been so disciplined about writing everything that I've learned, I can access all my lessons and insights from the world of product design and marketing since 2019. And I've neatly organized every single thought in very well-structured pages. And this takes a lot of time. It's not like you start from day one. And I know sometimes it might get overwhelming, but for me, I kind of enjoy it. I think I enjoy it when I have more pages with these nice icons. So the thing is, if I ever decide to launch a course or create a workshop or even write a LinkedIn article, in fact, even just help a friend or a junior, all I need to do is open up these pages, figure out what topic my friend is struggling in, open the page and quickly share the resource. This means that my Notion has become like my second brain. In fact, I also have a page called YouTube Learning, and to quickly jump to that, I'll do Command P and simply type YouTube Learning. And I'll click on this one. So because I am learning about YouTube, I've created a page just dedicated to resources for learning YouTube. And I have pages where I have categorized important YouTube channels. So I have a page which is called YouTube channels to learn YouTube. And I would put the heading, I would paste the URL and take a screenshot. By the way, quick hack, if you're on Mac, if you do Command Shift 4, take a screenshot and hold the Control key, the image is then pasted to your clipboard. So if I do Command V, it would directly add my JPEG here rather than, cluttering my desktop. It's just very annoying in general. So it's very, very important for you that whatever you're learning, whatever you're building in your company, you just document your thought processes. Because if you haven't written it, it would be very difficult for you to scale when you have more people in your company. And I learned this from this book called The E-Myth Revisited. Highly recommended for entrepreneurs and people who are building a product or even in content. I have one more page, which is one of my favorite. It's called UX Learning Resources for Designers. So I've added like a nice cover, an icon. And the crazy part about this page is that it has free resources across multiple domains in the field of UX that I have been collecting since 2022. So by the way, this is just on the front end. If I go to 2022, you'll see that there are tons of resources for any topic that you can ever imagine. And people keep wondering, how does Ansh get so many resources? How does he remember what to share? The truth is, I rely on my documentation. I never rely on my brain. And if you've been watching our video so far, you'd be wondering that, oh, he's created so much of content to teach us. And the truth is, I have barely revealed even 10% of what I've written here. Just to give you a quick example, if I were to go even to mockups, there is a proper video that I can make on each of these tools explaining why they are so valuable. In fact, if I were to go to my design notes, so if I were to go to design knowledge drafts, let's just pick any page, Hero Doc for Medium. For every single thing in the field of UI design, I have written proper learnings and states that are so nuanced, that are so detailed, that nobody in this world has ever created something like this. It's just that I'm waiting for the right time to build something which is really incredible. So if you start doing this today, after a span of 2 to 3 years, no matter what subject you're in, you'll just have a very powerful repository. And then you can just share resources just like how I do. In fact, I regularly share free resources and articles on my free Instagram broadcast community. So if you haven't joined it yet, you can scan this QR code and join all of our discussions. We do a lot of interesting things there. Now imagine that I can search through any of these thoughts at scale. If I go to my April document and to my quick sites document, imagine if I had to keep these things in my brain. And imagine if I were to keep this maintained for the next 10 years, how powerful this second brain is going to be. Because with Notion AI, I can search through multiple domains and find patterns in my own thoughts. And it may sound crazy, but if you maintain your Notion for the next 5 years, we can eventually decide to fuse our Notions together. And we would essentially have a combined second brain, almost like a child created from our own thoughts. Because Notion AI would eventually add voice to this. And when that happens, I will be able to speak to my own second brain. And this is going to be my own personal search engine. Because when you search something on Google, you get the best SEO result. And this is something that I learned from Abhinav Chikara, who runs 10K Designers. And when he told me this, I was just completely shook. Here, everything has been curated by me. So after 10 years, I can literally release my Notion pages as a personal search engine for designers. Because I have a page, say, of marketing. Right? So if I were to go to web design and marketing inspiration, after 5 years, this will become so powerful and so dense and valuable that I can just release this on the internet and give access to people, and they will be amazed because nobody would be able to replicate this. But let's not get too ahead. I'll show you a couple of interesting features which are way more advanced than all of this text stuff, right? So it's extremely important to know that if you're logged on to the same account, you'll have access to all of your pages on your phone and your computer. So I regularly regularly use both my phone and my computer to do these things. Now, if you press Command T, you would eventually open a new tab inside your Notion window. So I can have my marketing page on tab number 1 and probably have many more resources in different tabs. So I can switch between different tabs. It's not like you're restricted. And this is called a breadcrumb, where you can just, go back and probably like search through different things. So this is actually my inspiration page where I keep collecting, interesting things. And notice how my headings are not very specific, but my headings talk about what I feel about this, right? So the heading says, looping the illustration feels like it's coming from the side walls. Now, if I were to make this heading as secretstash.com, I would never even remember the name of this website. So my headings are actually the sensations and the emotions I feel about the specific resource. So that is very, very important that you're writing your headings. If you press Command P, then you can quickly search across your different pages. If you click on Ask AI, then you can ask anything that you want. This is still in beta, so sometimes it gives a good answer, sometimes it doesn't, but I'm pretty sure in the next 6 months it'll become incredibly strong. Now, if you do Command F, then you can search for anything within a specific page. So I've put text, nothing has come in, but if I put something like sweet, then you have this thing highlighted very, very easily. Now, as you're typing, if you press slash, then this is that same quick menu that we had in our phone when you click on the plus icon. So you have your text, you have your heading. If you hover, you'll be able to see all the previews on the right side. So it's pretty straightforward. You'll find everything important in this one single slash menu. Now, if you want to do edits very quickly, you can literally have 1 hash for heading number 1, then 2 hashes for a subheading, and then 3 hashes for your mini heading. So this is just a nice way of, organizing all thoughts. Now, just to give you a quick example, I was recently making a script on ChatGPT, right? So we had a video on the latest OpenAI announcements. So notice how I use my headings and text, right? So I write small paragraphs, I add gaps in it, and this is when I do not have much time. So when I was scripting my episode number 1, I had a Notion page where I was recording my feedback, my titles, the thumbnail inspiration. By the way, Learn by Leo, incredible YouTube channel in case you're trying to learn about YouTube. I had all of my hooks, then whatever hook that I had written, I had a page for the feedback to that hook. So we have a small community where we have some very interesting folks, Misha, Shashank, Anchal. So they were giving me feedback. So all of that feedback was also recorded just below the hook, and then we had the script. And look how I have been just organizing all of these things one by one, right? So it just becomes so easy for me to copy paste this and just put it in front of my teleprompter. If you want, let's just say you have a bunch of pages here and there's one page which is in some other domain altogether. If I press @ I can select specific people, I can add a specific date or link to a page as well. So here I have not shifted the video editing course. It's just a shortcut to any page from anywhere in your Notion directory. Now, when it comes to formatting your notes, let me just go to April. There is a bunch of things that you can do. So right now I've just added text, right? But what if I want to take this sentence and convert this into something which is way more important? So I can select it and just select call out. So when I do that, you'd notice that because I did not press enter, it applied to the entire paragraph. Now, this is something very, very important to understand. In a platform like Microsoft Office or even Google Docs, when you type something and press Command A, it selects the entire page. But in Notion, they do something very subtle. As soon as you press enter, it creates a new block. So if I do Command A, it does not select the entire page because, to be honest, it was never to select the entire page. So here, when I select Command A, this is actually one single block and I can drag this block. So when I'm reading, it might look like it's a paragraph with different sentences, but in reality, it's a block. So if I select this entire thing, I can go here into text and simply convert this into a call out. And if I click on this icon right here, I can choose any interesting icon, whatever feels more relevant. We also have a divider. So basically if I press divider, it'll just have like a nice visual relief. We also have quote where you can just put something like this. It's just a nice way to, have emphasis. The benefit of callouts and quotes is that when you're rescanning your notes, it just becomes easy to sort of go through. Otherwise, just having text becomes very mundane. In fact, I regularly use the mobile view to take a screenshot of my notes and then I would crop the UI out, just keep the middle part with white edges. I would go to my Instagram, open up the story option and then just put that square in the center. So Instagram would put a white box around my middle story, right? So then it becomes a very tall image with text in the middle and then I would download that JPEG. And then I would do this for each and every para. So for example, if I were to go to April, my quick insights, let's just say I go to October 2021. So this thing on the phone looks very, very different because you have like narrower space, right? So I would highlight these things, take a screenshot, convert it into an Instagram story and then download it and just select one para at each time, right? I would just crop out everything else. And then I would make it into a LinkedIn or an Instagram carousel. In fact, if you go to my Instagram right now and click on the highlight that is called My Notion, you would see my notes from 2021. And now that I've shown you this trick, here is your first homework from chapter number 1 to win your certificate. I want you to make notes of whatever you've learned from this episode or from any resource that you want. Format your notes very well and don't use ChatGPT. Put your own thoughts. This entire exercise is to make your writing and your thinking more clear. And try to use headings, if possible, 2 kinds of headings, or you can just use bold text just as how I have done it. Take screenshots from the phone itself and see if you can make a neat carousel out of it, just following the same Instagram story process that I've showed you. Quick tip, you can actually invert your images for a dark theme as well. And you can take this dark image and use Photoshop or Figma to switch the overlay mode from normal to screen. That way, all black parts of your screenshot will simply disappear. Now let me show you how we arrange this in our own Figma files. So we've created this very interesting Figma file called community posts, where if I don't have much time, I would simply take my thoughts and just put them this way. So it is still loading, but check this out. So can you see what I've done here? I have this image right here and it is still inverting. So I have a dual image right here. So this is the white one and this is the black one. The black one is still loading, but see what I've done here. This was the original image. And then I sort of inverted it. And when I went from normal to screen, it just removed all the black parts. And then I have something that looks way, way cool, right? So this is so easy. It is like, this was my original screenshot, by the way. So this is how it would look if you crop out all the UI, and then I would take small parts out of it, have a cover page and then sort of design it together in Figma. So a very quick hack to get good looking carousels very, very easily, because you can get so many images from Unsplash and just make something cool out of it. Now, once you have completed this carousel, you will still need to finish the second task of your homework for winning the certificate. So don't worry, I'll share all the details. In fact, everything is already in the description and the pinned comment. Now that all of these basics are clear, let's begin with chapter number 2. Now that I've explained you how Notion is different from other apps, let me teach you 3 of its most powerful features. Number 1, adding members and publishing your pages online, which is very helpful in making proposals, resumes, and portfolios. Second, creating databases and lists that will help you manage your daily work and resources. And number 3, creating action buttons that will help you build templates and checklists for you and your team. All 3 features are available on both phone and desktop, but for now I will show you how they work on the computer. First of all, if you create any page, let's just say I create this content saying hello, and I want to share this page to anyone. I have to go to the top right corner, and here we have 2 options. One is share, where I can invite my own team members, so I can select Aditi, and as soon as I select her, I can either give her full access where she can edit and share this page with more people, or just edit where she cannot add more people but still make changes, or comment when you just want people to review, or simply view access where they can just read whatever you have. But to access all of this, Aditi would still need her own Notion account. So if she does not have a Notion account, it will not work. But because her account is showing up, her full name is showing up, this is proof that she already has a Notion account. Now, if I go back and click on publish, this is where things become very, very interesting. Because as soon as I click on publish, I now get a URL that can also have an expiry date. Because whenever you're making resumes or portfolios or even a proposal, you don't have the time to make a website, you don't have the time to make a PDF. So you can do everything in one single place on Notion and create a public link out of it. You can allow editing, you can allow commenting, and you can also allow people to duplicate this as a template. And if you do search engine indexing, your page will also show up on Google search results, which is absolutely incredible. So just to give you a quick example, if I copy this link and go to Google Chrome, and paste this URL, it would come up like a normal website, which is so powerful. You did not have to pay for the domain or the design, and this can run for any page that you create with all of the crazy features that we will just learn right now. Now, one important thing to note here is that anytime you are adding someone, you usually get this one single option where Notion says, do you want to add this person to your workspace? So just make sure you click on skip for now, because if you add a person with edit access to your workspace, you will end up paying more money. So you can just click on skip for now so that you don't get like an extra debit. Now, just to give you a quick example, we used to conduct a lot of meetups, right? And I wanted to create a sponsorship prospectus for my AI meetup for people who don't know me. So instead of creating a very hi-fi deck, we literally just create a Notion page with our images and pictures from our previous events. So I no longer use Docs or Adobe Photoshop to create all of these things, because I can do this in just 10 minutes and post them on a URL. Now, the alternative to this is a PDF, but PDFs are very heavy in their size and they're not responsive, right? If somebody opens it on their phone, the text is very small, but here the text is adapting to the phone size because it's almost like a website. And if I make a change here, it is reflected in the final outcome as well. So whoever has the reel will see the final text that I am updating here. That is impossible in a deck or any document that you've already sent as an email attachment. In fact, every single process that my team follows for our content is also documented on Notion. So let me show you. These are such private pages, but I think it's important to just show everyone how this really works. By the way, I have a page called What Makes Me Happy. I literally have made a list of things that make me happy so that anytime I feel low, I can go back to it. A lot of ways I've been using Notion in all kinds of ways. So we have this one page called YouTube checklist, and you can see that it is a part of this page called team training for my brand management this year. So what I've done is I've basically created a list of every single thing that Aditi, my social media strategist, has to do anytime she uploads a YouTube video. So when you see a YouTube video, you probably think that, oh, it's probably like a script and it's a thumbnail and a title. But in reality, there is so much that we have to take care of, right? And if you were to pause the video, you'd realize that there is so many things that we have to, be very specific about. Now, if my team were not using Notion, either Aditi would have to rely on her memory, or she would have to write this in some Google Notes, some Google Keep, something like that. But now everything that we do is so well organized that all of my training videos, all of my feedback videos, all of our guidelines, everything is very properly documented. This thing right here is called a database. And this is the next thing that I want to show you. So let's just say I press enter. I will press slash and type database. Now here I have a bunch of options coming in, but we will start from database inline. And the first thing that you do is you have to name your database. So let's just say I call this as training material. Okay, these are my columns. If I click on a specific column, I can edit the name and then I can edit the property as well. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's just say I click on this back icon. You can see that inside my properties panel, I have names and I have tags. Now, if I go to tags, you'll see that just below tags, I have this thing called type, which is currently at multi-select. Now, let me explain you all of these options one by one. Text is your basic text. Number is when you can only add digits or currencies. Select is something where you can choose between multiple tags. For example, once I've selected this thing, I can call this high priority. Okay, I can call this low priority. And then I can say, I don't know, what is high priority? Exercise. Okay, what is low priority? OTT platforms, right? So this way, what you can do is you can select any tag you want, right? And you can switch between these. And these are your different tags. So it's just a way to like put a priority. After tags, we have a multi-select where let's just say you can have multiple tags to choose from. So you can probably call this home and then you have multiple options. So sometimes you would have like a list of books and you can say high priority, low priority, fiction, non-fiction, Indian, abroad. So you might need that case as well, right? Then we also have status where you can have to do, in progress or complete. And I'll show you how do we use this practically as well. This is very helpful when you're doing your project management. So let's just say you have not started, high priority, low priority, home, in progress and done. And you have 4 or 5 things to do today, right? So I'll tell you how do I manage my work. And this is very helpful if you get, confused and, just planning your day in general. So let's just say today's plan. Okay. I will call this thing as task and I will call this thing as my priority. Okay. And this thing can become, I'll choose status for this and call this actually status only, and let this thing be just my select. Okay. So now let's just say I have exercise, I have OTT platform, I have to write a script and I probably need to go to the bank and maybe my mom just called me, mom's stuff with the card, some random card issue. So writing a script, okay, could be high priority. And as soon as I open that, I see that there are a lot of unnecessary tags. So I can delete these. I can change the color for this as well. So I can just, keep this as high priority or low priority. And let's just delete these. And here, what I can do is in my to-do, I can simply go here in my status tag, and in my edit properties, I can double click on this thing and call this do today and do tomorrow and done, right? So I don't need something which is in progress. So I can make this do tomorrow. And in fact, let's have one more category by clicking plus here and call this as this week. And I'll simply select this week as well, and maybe I want to fix the card thing this week. So let me tell you how I use this in my day-to-day work. I'm not going to show you my actual to-do list because that has a lot of private information, but anytime I get a task, instead of just acting on it, I first put it on this table. I don't act on things very quickly. I simply put them on this list, give them a priority, and then ask myself, do I really need to do this today or can I do this tomorrow? Now, the crazy part is that if you click on this plus icon, you can create views, which basically means that let's just call this as today view. Okay. And here in my filters, I can go to my status and only select do today. That way, my original table has all of my tasks, but as soon as I click on today, I only see tasks that I have to do today, which is so useful. Now, just to give you a quick example, I have this page called 2024 Editing Training, where I am now keeping a track of every single important feedback call that I've ever had with my team who's editing my videos, right? So if I were to just show you editing training, we have all of our training videos and see this database. And Aditi has helped me a lot in maintaining this, by the way, but see how we are maintaining our own internal database. So we have the video title, we have the loom, we have the category, stage, editor, language. Now what I can do is I can literally go to plus and let's just say, I want to see just our editing videos, right? So I will go to my filter, I will go to my category and just click on editing. So if I know that I am now onboarding an editor, which is just terrible at editing in general, that person only needs to see this kind of stuff. No, if I want someone to just learn about scripting, then there's only one video in scripting. If it is about sound, then there's no video altogether. If it is about visuals, then there are 3 videos in visuals. So imagine how powerful this can be. And by the way, this Loom is a software. It's a screen recording software. If you're not aware of it, you can let me know in the comment section if you want a tutorial on Loom. It is this tool that allows you to put like your face in a circle and like screen record and put everything on the cloud. It's very seamless, very expensive, but in my opinion, very useful. In fact, my entire productivity stack includes 4 apps. So we have Notion, we have Loom, and Todoist and Structured. And I've already made a video on Loom before. It was like a very small video. I'll share that link in description. And Todoist is a daily task management app, and Structured helps me plan my day hour by hour. I'll put their links in description. Let me know in the comments if you want a proper course on Todoist and Structured as well to plan your day, because I just want to spend today's time teaching you how we are making things on Notion for your own company. In fact, we also have one shortlisted soundtracks page where, I've been collecting all of my interesting music, because sometimes it just becomes so difficult to find good music, right? So this makes things very organized. Now, some important things to note. You can do anything in life, but not all at once. So please make sure that you smartly pick the 20% that gets you the 80% of the results, which is called the Pareto's principle. So anytime I get these tasks, my most important objective of the day is to figure out that in my Notion database, what is high priority and what is low priority. That one single column is going to make the entire difference. Once you find that 20%, ask yourself, what are the best tools, subscriptions, books, or YouTube videos that can help you achieve these tasks faster. And if you have a friend who has done something similar, then call that friend ASAP. Because getting advice from an experienced human being is way more powerful than searching on the internet. Then make sure you organize and batch your tasks in priority just how I showed you. And finish your important tasks first. In fact, you can also label them. So as I showed you different states, right? You can just put a multi-select column and put labels. So I'll tell you how I put my labels. I have meetings, top priorities, extra tasks, personal tasks, outside tasks, and generic calls. I'll explain you what they mean. If there is any professional meeting, or I have to speak to my team, or if there's any important Google Meet call, that is on top priority, it is in the meetings label. Then we have top priorities itself, which is all the work stuff that I have to do and nobody else can do for me. Then we have extra tasks, which are related to work, but these are like small tasks about work. And I usually finish all of them one by one. I never do one small task in the day, then a big task, then another small task. I batch all of my small tasks together, and my Notion database guides me for that, because I instantly look at my Notion database and I know that these are the small things, these are 10 small things that I have to do today. Then we have personal tasks, which is like, taking a bath, getting my hair cut, whatever it may be. Then outside tasks, if there's anything that I have to achieve stepping outside my house, could be to get groceries, go to the bank, whatever it is, I do all of my outside tasks together as well. And then we have generic calls, which is like work related calls, or I have to wish someone, or just, put a greeting message, whatever that may be. Now, having your tasks in this specific order will really help you a lot. In fact, schedule time for your social media as well. Keep your screen black and white, have your daily habits that help you maintain high energy at all times. I've already created 3 videos on these exact topics. The first one was on how to glow up and fix your life. Next one was on how I design my own environment and desk for maximum productivity. And then in the end, I had made a video on how I maintain high energy levels. The thing is, these tools are not going to help you unless your foundations are right. That is why this entire course is not just about teaching you how to use Notion. That anybody can teach you. There is no value in, learning how to use Notion. The real art is that how do you become more productive? So it's very important for me to give you the right mindset behind this. Now, databases can also have different views, and I'm not going to get too much into detail here because Notion themselves have created a free course explaining all of these features in utmost details, and they host it on this link called Notion Academy. It has really in-depth tutorials for every specific feature. I'll put the link in description. Now, the truth is, none of these tools will actually help you unless your physical and mental health is on the right path. And that is why I keep telling people that anytime you create your Notion priorities and your affirmation list and your goals list, split everything into at least 4 buckets. One could be professional, one could be financial, one could be for family, but minimum one group should be dedicated towards your diet, sleep, reading, and exercise. Trust me, it'll help you way more than buying any course or certification. And if you're a budding entrepreneur, I would strongly recommend you to get Buy Back Your Time and The E-Myth Revisited. Absolute game-changing books for me. If you've been following me on Instagram or if you're in our broadcast, you already know everything that I've shared from that book. And I wish every entrepreneur reads this book as early as they can. If you're a student in school or in college, then these books might not make sense to you. So like always, I would recommend you to read top 3 books that have really changed my life and literally start documenting your learnings on Notion. Like for example, I'll show you how I have been learning. So let me just show you one of my pages. Just to give you a quick example, this is a page for Think and Grow Rich for me. Right, and I have been making notes from Think and Grow Rich since 2021 to 2022, right? And I had my own affirmations, my own long-term desire statement. Like there was a lot that I wanted to write when I was reading these books, right? And it has really helped me to grow in my life. So make sure that you read Think and Grow Rich, The Almanac of Naval Ravikant, and Rework, and spend at least 30 minutes every single day documenting your learnings on Notion. I know you're not going to take this advice that seriously. I think only 2% people will take this advice seriously. But if they actually follow what I've just told you and write your learnings on Notion for the next 3 years, you will message me on my Instagram or email and tell me what a big difference this combination of a great book and Notion has done for you. Now, the last feature that I want to cover for you is creating your own action buttons, and I find very few people talking about this. Alright, now to make this example way more practical, I'm going to teach you how you can use action buttons to create templates. So I am a YouTuber, I have to regularly write hooks. I have literally created a Notion page where I have documented my process of writing a great hook, and it has a 6-part checklist. Now what I can do is I can go and click / and create a button, and I can call this button as hook template. Okay, when the button is clicked, do this, and I can insert a block and literally say hook, and then I can put 3 things right here. Intro, define what the video is about and how is it different. Okay, then what is my thing? Why does the target persona need to do this? So mention target persona. Add details. What fear will this video solve? And I think you get the point, right? Now the crazy part here is that as soon as I click on done, I can share this button anywhere I want. If I'm writing a script, all I need to do is click on this button and boom, my template is sorted. And this will work for images, databases, no matter what you put in that button, anybody can just click on this and keep getting those templates again and again. So if you have a lot of checklists in your company, or if you have a daily habit tracker, this one single button can save you hours of time. And let me know in the comments if you want more complex Notion tutorials, because I'm keeping things very, very simple. But to be honest, you can use this tool to build CRMs and project management templates, and there's a lot. Now, before I move to chapter number 3, where I'll show you Notion AI, let's quickly revise what we have learned in chapter number 2. First, we understood how to add members and publish your pages online. Then we created our first database and understood how to manage and prioritize your tasks. And in the end, I gave you top book recommendations just to make you understand that just Notion alone is not going to make any sense to you. Learning how to document is not the most important thing ever. Knowing what to learn from and then using documentation to become a better learner is the final objective. And then in the end, I showed you how to create an action button for speeding up your work if you're building checklists and systems for your company. Now, this brings us to your second part of the homework. Make sure that whatever carousel or story or text post you create, you upload it on LinkedIn or Instagram and tag me and Notion. Once you have posted on social media, copy the link and paste it in the comment section of this video. If you are not on social media, just write down all of your learnings and feedback in the comment section and paste a link to any of your published Notion pages. The goal here is to make you do hands-on practice. And folks, this certificate is not going to help you get a job. Please be real. I give these to make sure that you have a very specific target and a precise time frame to learn and deliver. It's just me gamifying the process, and it is just my way of appreciating your effort. It costs us real money to design and print and ship these to you. So we do take a lot of time to shortlist people. And the certificate is really well designed, so I know that once you have it, your motivation to go further will simply get stronger. Now that this is clear, let's move to the final chapter of this course. Now, on top of everything that I've shown you so far, Notion now has introduced built-in AI. If you are subscribed to Notion, you don't need to switch tabs for using ChatGPT and going to a different browser. And if you're working at anything and if you're feeling stuck, you can use Notion AI to get ideas way faster. And let me show you how. So let's just say I click on / and press AI, and I will say ask AI to write list of YouTube titles on productivity and time management, and I'll say 20 ideas. Okay, so now I'll have a bunch of ideas right inside my Notion page, and there is a lot that you can explore here. I'm not going to waste your time. Your homework is to just explore this thing, because you can obviously see that you can continue writing, you can make it longer, you can try again as well. And if I press / again and just type AI, you'd realize that there is improve writing, fix spelling, make shorter, make longer, literally everything is there easily available. At this point, I know that most people are not even gonna get impressed by this. Now, the crazy part here is that you can actually create legit flowcharts. So let's just say I want to make a flowchart for components of a YouTube video, right? The right prompt for this is to create a Mermaid flowchart. And Mermaid is a JavaScript based tool for creating diagrams and flowcharts, but you don't need to know about that. And now because of Notion AI, you don't even need to learn Mermaid. You can simply prompt it right inside Notion. So let's just say I go here again, and inside my AI, I'll simply say create a Mermaid flowchart that shows all components of a YouTube video script, and I'll press enter. Now see the magic happen. This is the code. So this is basically Mermaid code. And can you see the graph at the very bottom? It has actually created a legit flowchart. So instead of split, I can simply click on preview and would have the preview very, very easily. So it is a pretty long one. What I can do is I can also create a simpler one. So let's just say I can again go and say create a Mermaid flowchart to create user journey for buying a sneaker, right? Which is again a very simple flow. So now it would actually create a proper flowchart with the decision making process, and then you can keep asking for more and more things, right? In fact, you can open the same page in 2 different windows and work on the same Notion page by typing on 2 different paths. I know that just became very complicated, but let me just minimize this and I'll do Command Shift N again, and that would give me 2 notions. And I can scroll down and basically edit on the same page itself. So sometimes what happens is that when I'm researching, I would usually have a lot of my feedback and a lot of my notes on the top of the document. I would have like my dump of ideas on the very top, and then I would be writing at the very bottom. So I can minimize all of this so that I have like a clean canvas. So this makes writing very, very easy because I can edit as a single user on multiple parts of the page, and it is just so accessible. In fact, you can have tabs on both of these windows. So imagine I can switch between 6 of my pages, and the amount of productivity that I can get here is absolutely immense. By the way, if you're wondering how do you get a page as a favorite, just click on the star icon and then it would be easily accessible on the left side in this row right here. By the way, don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you've been enjoying these hacks so far. Now, I personally love shortcuts, and there's a very important list of shortcuts that Notion has released. I'll put the link in description, but I'll tell you my most used shortcuts. Now, goes without saying that I already have a Notion page with my Notion shortcuts, so you can just take a screenshot of this and try all of these. But these screenshots are just a part of that really big list that I would put in the description. But learning these shortcuts would save you a lot of time. Like, I personally use this on a daily basis, and it has just helped me become a very strong power user. Notion also has a ton of templates available. Some are free and some are paid. In fact, there are a lot of Notion users who sell Notion templates and make decent enough money as a side hustle. You'll find templates for all different categories and use cases in the link I've shared in description. Let me know if you want a course on how to make and sell Notion templates, if that is something that you're interested in. Now, there is a lot of basic stuff that we covered in this tutorial, but the truth is, Notion is way more deep and vast than what I've shown you today. If we get enough requests in the comments, I'll script an even way more advanced Notion tutorial where I'll show you how my team and I use Notion in our company and content creation processes. Till then, you can always check out Thomas Frank Explains and The Productive Dude, because both of these YouTube channels make a lot of interesting Notion videos. Apart from this, if you haven't seen our free YouTube courses on video editing, Figma, product design, ChatGPT, prompt engineering, and even Midjourney, then you'll find all of their links in description. We've also launched a free platform called howtoprompt.in to learn about AI for free. If you want to learn about UX, you can always visit learnuiux.in as well. If you're here for the first time, then make sure you click on subscribe and hit the bell icon because we regularly make content on tech and design. With that being said, I hope that you're taking care of your mind and body. This is your dost Ansh Mehra signing out. If you enjoyed this video, then do check out this video of the same series. I am sure that it will help you even more.